Hey guys, so long time no see, I know, but I'm back. So I'm back with another makeup tutorial because you guys really seem to like them and I really enjoy making them. So here we are again, and this time we are playing around with this bad boy. I love this palette. If you've been following my channel for some time, you know that I absolutely adore this palette. But because it's so colorful and so vibrant, I don't really get to wear it all that much, and I don't really play around with it as much as I could. If you have a palette this colorful, you kind of have to do something a bit more out there, you know, something a bit more like this, what you can see on my eyes. And I think I'm gonna name this look the Magical Butterfly, by the way. But you will see me get into that as we do the whole tutorial bit and everything. But yeah, so I feel like with a palette like this, you kind of have to do something a bit more out of the box. And I'm not saying, okay, I'm not saying that this look is very like out of the box or anything. It's just a bit more out there than like your neutral everyday looks, you know? So yeah, I felt like I wanted to do something like that. And if you like those kinds of looks as well, and if you are a huge fan of this palette or any of the Carnival palettes by BPerfect and Stacey, then this tutorial is right up your alley. I'm not going to drag this intro on any longer, so if you want to see how I created this magical butterfly look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so let's just get cracking. I have prepped my face as I always do, although this time I did also prime as well, which I haven't actually done in a very long time. I haven't used any primers, but I was called to use the BECCA First Light priming filter all over my face, and it's just nice to kind of even out the skin a bit and give you this more lifelike complexion, especially if your skin is really dull, which mine is because we are in winter now. So that's what's all over my face. But then I also, as you can see, my under eyes are slightly orange, and that's because I use the NYX dark circle concealer in the shade medium, which I always use. It is slightly too dark for me because I'm guessing this is more targeted towards like medium and dark complexions. I use it just because it's really good at cancelling out my blue hued under eyes. So even though it does look a bit crazy if I'm not wearing anything else on my skin, it does a really good job at color correcting, and I really need the help underneath my eyes. So I think we're gonna start. Oh, I also applied the what is it? The Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, the original one, on my eyelids as well, just to prep the eyelids for eyeshadow. And now, this is what we're going to play with today, the BPerfect and Stacey Carnival palette, which is the first one that they came out with. I think they have like 3 now. I think they have 3, and they might even be coming out with a 4th one, I'm not sure, but there are all these different versions of the Carnival palette now. I know there's an XL version of this, and then I think they came out with like a Tahiti or something like more exotic than that. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but anyway, I have the first one, the original one, and yeah, I haven't played with it in such a long time. I haven't really played with makeup in a long time, to be fair, in general, but I was given the suggestion by one of my lovely subscribers, so thank you so much. Yeah, and I just was like, yeah, of course, I haven't played with this super colorful palette, which I absolutely love, but I just don't get to play around with too much because, again, as you can see, the color scheme is fairly out there and it's not like your everyday usual palette. I mean, it can be for some people, but as I said, I haven't really used too much makeup lately. Okay, I'm actually going to work kind of in a different direction than I would normally. Normally I start with matte eyeshadows, and specifically in my crease and my outer V, and then I kind of work my way towards the inner corner, but today I'm gonna do it exactly the opposite way. I'm actually going to start with the shade Queenie, and I'm going to start applying that on the front half of my eyelid. And I'm also going to take the shadows fairly high up because this look is going to be really dramatic. At least it is in my head. It's super dramatic in my head. I'm also going to use my finger, just my ring finger, to kind of tap over that, because applying especially like shimmery shadows, applying them with your finger always packs more of a punch. And then I'm going to take a semi-clean fluffy brush and I'm just going to soften the edges a bit so that it wouldn't be too harsh. As you can see, there aren't very many like transition shades or very like skin toned, more wearable shades. I know that's a wrong term to use, but I hope you get what I'm saying. So yeah,
I'm not sure I understand.
Shut up. Yeah, I want to lay down something like underneath my brow and just kind of wash it in this area, because this area is going to be covered with eyeshadow anyway, so I'm not worried about that. But I do want this area to be more like eyeshadowy as well, not just my own skin. I'm thinking I might just actually use the Tartelette palette that I'm using as a mirror anyway, because it's just right here. But obviously you can use whatever eyeshadows you have. I'm sure that you have very many like just basic neutral eyeshadows. I'm going to take this shade over here, which is Force of Nature. And what I'm doing is I'm just lightly kind of going over this area. And I'm actually going to mix this Force of Nature shade with the shade that's next to it, Free Spirit. Just lazily dust over the area underneath my brow. The Force of Nature shade is like this taupey shade, but it's not very dark. And also the Free Spirit is kind of like a bone or creamy toned eyeshadow. So again, for this part, if you're following this along, I would just recommend using a lighter eyeshadow that matches your skin tone. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take the shade Wasted, this beautiful, beautiful electric purple. So I'm going to start applying that shadow right next to this shimmery Queenie shade that we put down, and I'm covering like almost like 1/3 of my lid, but I'm not taking it very far out. I'm keeping the outer V open for the other darker shades. And as you can see, I'm just kind of going in a slightly diagonal shape. And I'm just building up the pigmentation of this purple shadow as I go along. And because I'm using more of a fluffy brush, I'm not packing the shadow on. I'm just using it like in very thin layers. Because again, I wanted to kind of be more subtle and just almost like blow into this Queenie shimmery shade. Okay, let's try and make my vision come to life. So next I want to apply the shade Chant, and I'm going to again place it right next to that more vibrant purple, and I'm going to start building up this more like defined outer V. Okay, I'm also going to take the fluffy brush that we used for the we used in the underneath my eyebrow area. So I'm using that to kind of blend over the upmost part. I just want to try something because I'm not actually too happy with the way that these two shadows are blending into one another. I'm going to take the shade Queenie a bit more and again just try and blend the shimmery shadow into the purple one. And now I'm going back in with the brush that we used for the purple, and I'm again just buffing over the transition part. I love that the shadows are just blending into each other effortlessly. And you know what this look reminds me of? As I'm looking at my eyes right now, they actually remind me of a butterfly. I don't know why, but I look at my eyes and I get butterfly with that. Anyway, let's deepen up the outer V some more, and for that I'm going to use the shade The Cure. I'm going to start focusing that shadow kind of in the outermost part of my eye, so right over here where the eyelid ends, and like you get to this V-shaped formation that you get at the end of your eye. That's literally where I am focusing this shade. It's like almost this deep aubergine shade, so it's just like blending into the other shades effortlessly, and I don't really need to worry too much about it. Going back with the previous shade, going back with the previous brush, and I'm just kind of tapping over. And again, as I'm getting into this outer V section over here, I am like almost dragging the eyeshadow up and blending it outwards. So I'm creating this effect like my eye is more like elongated and more raised than it actually is. And this is a really good tip, especially if you are like me and you have hooded eyes, then this is really a really good technique to use. I don't want to drag this video on for too long, so I'm actually going to just do the same thing on the other eye, and then I'm going to clean up underneath my eyes and do the rest of my face makeup, and then I'll come back here and we can finish up the lower lash line and the whole look and put on the lashes and see what comes out. Okay, so change of plans. I was halfway through my face makeup. As you can see, I have my foundation on, I have my concealer, my under eyes done, and I have my brows on. But I haven't done any of the like other powder products. And before I started doing them, I just thought to myself, I haven't really done like my face on camera for a very long time because again, I've been wanting to save some time. But I actually thought that, you know what, I'm gonna show you guys how my routine has slightly changed recently. So yeah, I just thought we could do this part together because I mean everything else is pretty much the same, and you've seen me apply like foundation and concealer and powder underneath my eyes several times already. So yeah, let's just do the other stuff and then we can finish up the eye look. So I'm going to take the Essence Choose Your Glow highlighter palette. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to mix all of these 3 shades together. This is such a cute little palette and it's from the drugstore and it's really, really affordable. So yeah, I've been using this a lot. And yeah, I just kind of do like this. What I do now when it comes to my highlighter is I don't actually like, I used to take it all the way up to over here, but now I actually want to, I prefer keeping it on this section only, on the top of my cheekbone. And I'm not taking it any further than that, and I'm not taking it any further over here. I'm just keeping it in this section because that's mainly where the light hits my face anyway. I don't really like highlighting the bridge of my nose anymore either. I'm just kind of like, I dab just the top of my nose a bit, and then I just do the Cupid's bow and chin. And that's it really. Like I don't use any highlighter, any more highlighter because, well, first of all, something really strange is going on with my forehead and I have these little bumps and like these breakouts. So I've never had those before, so I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, that's why I'm not really highlighting my forehead anymore because I don't want to emphasize those. And also I've noticed that when I highlight the bridge of my nose, it makes my nose really wide, which is not really the look that I'm going for. So I've kind of changed it up a bit, but some things haven't changed, meaning that I still use my trusty little e.l.f. brush that I use to actually powder underneath my eyes to set my concealer in place. I use this brush to just slightly tap over the parts where I applied the highlighter because I like to kind of push it into the skin a bit more. I don't want it to be overly noticeable, this highlighter, so it's just like I like it to be a bit more subtle. Next I'm going to, this part hasn't changed, I'm going to use my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. I absolutely adore this bronzer so much. It's my favorite bronzer. And then what I do is I just kind of hollow out my cheek like this, and then I start tapping. I'm kind of, actually I think this part has slightly changed in the sense that, I mean, as I'm applying my bronzer, it has slightly changed because I used to take my bronzer quite like far in, and I'm not really doing that either anymore. So I'm kind of keeping it like to this up until like this part only. I'm not taking it like all the way over here. I'm kind of just focusing it more so on the actual outer perimeters of my face. And then I'm just again going like around, and I like to do this as well, where I'm just kind of going up and down with the brush and just buffing it underneath my jaw as well. And I like kind of connecting this part because before, when I didn't used to do that, it was really weird when there was this like empty and a lot lighter part of my face, almost like, I don't know, almost like I had forgotten to apply foundation or makeup on this section of my face. So I didn't really like that. So now, yeah, I just kind of brush downwards like this to make this even little ring or connection around my face. And yeah, again, I like to tap on my cheekbones, because in that way I feel like I am not actually removing the coverage that I've laid down with the foundation. And as a last thing, I still, because I'm not huge on like being super precise with a nose contour or anything like that, I just like to brush very lightly around the edges of my nose with whatever is left on the brush. And it's very important, at least on my face, I feel like it's very important to kind of tie the look together underneath my nose. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, just going down the sides like that, it makes my nose super long. So it's very, very important that I kind of emphasize this part with the bronzer, because that kind of makes my nose a bit shorter, or kind of like more petite. I know. I've maybe you guys are not even able to believe it, but I have actually started using blush quite a bit whenever I do wear makeup. Now today I am using my trusty MAC Warm Soul. This is the blush that I tend to turn towards whenever I am using blush. It's just such a nice, and again, it's a warm toned, it kind of goes with everything, and it's really, really subtle. So I mean, you can build it up to be a bit more intense as well if you like a very blushy look, but I'm not really into a very blushy look. I just want a bit of it. So I'm going to just tap it a little bit, and I'm just going to bounce it on my cheek, basically. And I'm keeping it a bit higher, and as you can see, I'm not really smiling. I'm not doing like this, because otherwise it's going to, like, it's just gonna fall down, and it's going to end up in a lower position on my face than I would actually like it to be. So I'm just keeping my face muscles relaxed, and I'm tapping it over on this higher, like, cheekbone part of my face. And then I also like to kind of brush it over my nose a bit, to kind of tie everything together. And of course, some things never change. My Givenchy Healthy Glow Powder in the shade number 2. And I'm gonna use the same brush, and I'm just kind of lightly going over my cheeks, and also my temples a bit, my nose, and my chin. And there we are. I think we're ready to move on to the eye makeup to like finish it all off and close this video out. Also, if you are interested in like the foundation that I used and the concealer that I used and all that kind of stuff, then just click on the description box tab and you'll be able to see all of the products that I've used in this video. Okay, so now that we have everything pretty much done, it's just the lower lash line, lashes and lips left. Actually, you know what I want to do first? I haven't used any liners in my waterline in a very long time. So I'm actually going to take my Catrice 18-hour Colour&Contour eye pencil in the shade Up in the Air. It's like this navy dark blue, like this shade. So I'm going to put that in my waterline and then we can start applying eyeshadows as well. So let's see how this goes. I think I'm going to start with the shade Wasted. I'm gonna apply that first, kind of taking it halfway on my under eye. Yeah, I actually think that I'm going to leave it there because I want to take the golden shade that we used on the top lid. I want to apply that on the lower lid as well to kind of tie everything together. But before I do that, I am going to deepen up the outer V, like underneath my eyes, the lower lash line part. I want to tie that in with the top part. So I'm going to use the shade Liqueur. And I'm going to apply that on the outer part of my lower lash line. Okay, and now I'm going to take the shade Queenie and apply that on the front part of my lower lash line. And I'm also taking a bit of the shade Major Glow in the Essence highlighter palette, and I'm going to apply that in my inner corners to lighten them up a bit. now let's finish up the face. So I'm going to first do the lashes. I'm going to curl them. I'm going to apply the L'Oreal Extatic Waterproof Mascara. I'm going to apply the Doll Lashes in the style Jasmine on top. And then for the lips, I'm going to go in with the Ofra Liquid Lipstick in the shade Bel Air. And then I'm just going to spritz everything in place with the Essence Hello Good Stuff 3-in-1 Face Mist with watermelon extract. And that was the whole tutorial. If you're still here, thank you so much. That's it. I had so much fun doing this look, and actually I do have to say it kind of turned out fairly similar to what I had in mind. So I think the vision came to life. I think it did. But of course, you have your own opinions, and you can let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this look and whether you would actually create it for yourself, whether you would wear it anywhere. All that kind of stuff. Let me know. And also do let me know if you think that this looks kind of like a butterfly. It looks like a magical butterfly to me, and I still see it. I can't get past it. So yeah, anyway, once again, thank you so much for spending this time with me, and keep your eyes open because I will be doing at least one Christmas makeup tutorial as well. That's that. So I hope to see you guys very soon. But in the meantime, you know, take care of yourselves, be good to yourselves, and be kind to your loved ones and other people as well, as we're going through these crazy times. If you like this tutorial, you already know what to do. Make sure to give me a thumbs up as well. Just click on that little thumbs up button. And also, if you haven't joined my little family yet, then go ahead and subscribe as well. And then you'll see more of these colorful and fun and different makeup tutorials. If this is the kind of style of makeup that you like, then yeah, make sure to subscribe so that you wouldn't miss out on future fun. Hopefully I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.